just want to do the UEFA Cup. Just do the UEFA Cup finals because, no, listen. I said to folk in the preview pod that I was going to, I did all the Fairs Cup finals, 13 Fairs Cup finals, and I was saying how the Fairs Cup is the UEFA Cup, is the Europa League. So it's not really fair to start at half and then I'm somebody that likes to get his round in, and say, Alec, can we just go up the road? That was an hour and 38 minutes last night. I can't take this anymore, mate. I can't take this anymore. You've got to focus on the domestic stuff. You've got to focus on your domestic life. I mean, Ross County, you barely mentioned him for 5 minutes in that podcast last night. He just kept talking about European. Well, all I'm saying is, I like to stand my round. Just 1971-72 was the first UEFA Cup final, where Tottenham Hotspur beat Wolverhampton Wanderers, an all-English affair, over 2 legs. And the interesting thing there is the first leg of the first UEFA Cup final was played at Molineux, home of Wolverhampton Wanderers, who we beat in the semi-finals of the first Cup Winners' Cup tournament. And we played them in the semi-final at Molineux, obviously, and then we come up here, or we played the final here. That was the only Cup Winners' Cup final that was played over 2 legs. Some of them were replayed, but it's the only one that was actually played over 2 legs. So the first Cup Winners' Cup final we played at Ibrox. We played the first leg at Ibrox, and it was Rangers. And it was Wolves we beat in the semi, and then Wolves hosted it. That doesn't even work, Alec. It doesn't even scan. I don't know what you're talking about. You're just rambling. Can you just get to the point? There was a 72. Tottenham won the first UEFA Cup final. 73. Liverpool won the second UEFA Cup final. So the whole English thing, because the Fairs Cup had been won by Arsenal and Leeds and Newcastle. There was a whole run at English clubs that went right across the two. Can we just stay the winners, Alec? Can we just stay the winners of the UEFA Cup so we can get up the road? All right, okay, so 73 Liverpool, 74 was Feyenoord, and they beat Tottenham Hotspur in the final, actually, so there was a chance here for the English clubs to Alec, the winners, please, just the winners. 75 Borussia Mönchengladbach, 76 Liverpool, 77 Juventus, 78 PSV Eindhoven, 79 Borussia Mönchengladbach, 80 Eintracht Frankfurt, who, that's the first time they got their hands on the same trophy that we unfortunately saw them lifting in Seville in 2022, even though it's youth. Alec, just the winners. Okay. That's 1981 was Ipswich Town, 82 IFK Gothenburg, 83 Anderlecht, 84 Tottenham Hotspur, 85 Real Madrid, 86 Real Madrid, 87 IFK Gothenburg, 88 Bayer Leverkusen, 89 Napoli, 90 Juventus, 91 Internazionale, 92 Ajax Amsterdam, 93 Juventus, 94 it was Internazionale, 95 Parma, and Juventus actually played their home leg, having played the home leg in 93 against Borussia Dortmund at the Stadio delle Alpi. By 95 they'd had enough of the Delle Alpi, and they hosted their leg of the final at the San Siro. So they actually played at Milan. So that's the San Siro's in there with a shout. The amount of UEFA Cup finals with Inter's running that tournament at that point in time, the amount of actual UEFA Cup finals they've hosted is quite. Alec, just the winners, please. All right, 96, that was 95 was Parma, 96 was Bayern München, 97 was Schalke, and Schalke finally getting into a European final, finally winning a European final. No able to win the Bundesliga for decades now, almost forgetting their years, their Kriesel, Fritz Schrepan, all that kind of stuff, their glory years before the war, and they won it just after the war as well, but they never won the actual Bundesliga when it became a national league, and there they were. Finally they got a bit of glory. They beat Inter on penalties in the second leg in the San Siro to lift the UEFA Cup, and 2 weeks later Dortmund win the bloody Champions League. Unbelievable. 90 the final, just the final. Okay, right, just the winners of the finals. Okay, that was 97. 98 was Inter. Don't I mention the fact that was the first they'd gone back to? All right, okay. They'd gone back to didn't go back to in terms of the UEFA Cup. It was the first UEFA Cup final to be played just one off, not home and away, one off at a neutral venue that's picked at the beginning of the tournament. Did that twice during the 13 Fairs Cup finals, but this was the UEFA Cup final finally do it, 1998, and it was Inter beating Lazio 3-0 at the Parc des Princes. 99 was Parma, 2000 was Galatasaray, 2001 was Liverpool, 2002 that was Feyenoord, 2003 Porto, something about who they beat in the final, I can't remember what it is. 2004 Valencia, 2005 CSKA Moscow, 2000 they beat Sporting Club de Portugal at Sporting Club, just the winners, okay. 2006 Sevilla, 2007 Sevilla, 2008 Zenit St Petersburg, again, I want to say something about the team they beat in the fight, but you want me just about 2009, that was Shakhtar Donetsk beating Werder Bremen in the Suku Sarakloglu, Fenerbahce's ground, which is actually in the Asian side of, so it's really interesting. You've got a European final being played in just, or do the Europa? No, you don't want to do Europa League, because Europa League is the same trophy, but still, just you don't. No, Alec, I think you've got a problem. I think you need to sort this out. You need to talk to somebody. Well, what chance have I got? Well, the trigger's going to be out here. I woke up feeling terrible this morning. Don't get me, I woke up feeling terrible. I know I made folk listen to a 1 hour, 38 minute preview pod for the Ross County game the day. I know I did was talk about the UEFA Cup, the Europa League, the First Cup. They're all the same thing, even though there's been two different trophies. I know what I did, but what chance have I got? When I walk in the other day, and Ross County are wearing a flipping Osasuna kit. They're wearing an Osasuna kit, and Osasuna, well, it's the second team I ever saw in Europe. The second European tie I ever saw was us playing Osasuna in what was their first ever European match. Here, at this stadium, wearing the same kit as Ross County are wearing the day. Craig Patterson scored the only goal of the game. And it's in the UEFA Cup, which is, it's the Europa League, which is the tournament we're playing from Thursday night, and it's just... I was talking just last night about how Athletic Bilbao are probably the team we want to avoid in the Europa League because Athletic Bilbao are hosting the final, and also they've never won a European trophy. No Basque club has ever won a European trophy. Athletic Bilbao twice lost the final. 77 Juventus, 70. 2012 when it was Europa League, 2012 to Atletico de Madrid in Bucharest. But that's this tournament. That's this tournament. They've lost twice in the final, but and Alaves, other Basque team to get to a final, they get beat off. Okay, they could be off Steven Gerrard and Liverpool, but we're not talking about that. Steven Gerrard, who got us back to our current situation, cusp of glory through the Europa League. You don't want to talk. You still don't want to. Okay, so I'm talking about that, and that's that was their first game. That was Osasuna, a Basque country team, not different politics in that particular area, Navarre, whatever. But they'd played their first ever European tie right at the time. Real Sociedad, who've never reached a European final, are playing them. They're winning the title. Real Sociedad and Athletic Bilbao, Athletic Club, are winning 3 La Liga titles between them. And you don't see a connection. How is that not supposed to make me think about the UEFA Cup, about that the Europa League, about that very tournament that I seem to be talking about a bit too much, and everybody's getting really antsy about it. And then Derek Johnstone came out at half time. What the fuck am I supposed? Derek Johnstone comes out at half time. Don't get me wrong, I was fighting it. I felt terrible. I knew what I did this morning. I used to be, the Champions League was my tipple. That was the problem, I thought, because it came in the big jugs, the massive jugs with the 2 handles, big eared handles in each side, and you could get, your whole head could go inside that, when you're drinking, kind of big gallons of that. But I thought that, and then I had a really bad session on it just a couple of years ago. So a few seasons back, I had a right bad session. It was awful. I thought I was a goner. I thought that's me done. I'm done with European football. But I'm done with the finals thing. I'm not going to. But the Europa League it suits my age. It suits the situation that I'm in. It suits my metabolism really, because it's still a big. Big servings you're getting. It's a big kind of the moulding, kind of organic mouldings that are on it. There's no handles on it, but it's a big kind of vase that tapers out the way. It's quite a thin, but a decent sized neck, but it comes up to the brim, and it's just the right size. Consuming for me to get right, and then I just can't stop having them. I can't stop it. That's the thing, and it's back to the same old problem. But I just can't stop talking about European finals. But this Derek Johnstone comes out today. First, I'm trying not to think about it. I'm trying to think Derek Johnstone scored in so many Scottish Cup finals. Derek Johnstone had a really dodgy perm in the late 70s. Derek Johnstone, DJ, he was on Radio Clyde and stuff like that. I'm sure there was a bad opinion he had once on, Clyde's, what that made me angry. I'm trying not to think about the one the game he played in the new camp in 90. And then the guy says to him, the guy doing the tombola draw says, Derek, what's your favourite memory in all your years at Rangers? I'll just say one thing. Don't say it, DJ. Don't say it. 1972. That's me right slap bang right back in there. The Union Bears are singing a song about Glasgow Rangers International. They're singing International. That's what they're actually saying. I tell you that Polka, the manager of Union St Gilles, the other night, we played them in the Europa League. We did. I can't help it. That happened. We played them in the Europa League. They say that alcoholics can avoid alcohol altogether, but foodaholics, they've got to eat. They've still got to eat, so the triggers they don't. And that's what it's like for me. We're playing in this. There's more games now in the group stages, so I can't help it. I'm getting triggered all the time. This is what society wants for me. It's a rigged game. Polka was born the 1st of August 1987. I said this in the preview pod for the European game, and that was the day, the first of the 2 days of the Ibrox International Tournament, August 1987, where I sat and I watched 2 consecutive games. Me and my mate sat, we watched 2 consecutive games at Ibrox, and the second one was Rangers against Real Sociedad. The first one was Ajax against Internacional Porto. Rangers against Real Sociedad, a Basque team, in the finals in the Basque country. That's their derby, the friendly derby. And the second game was Rangers against Internacional Porto Alegre of Brazil. You know, what chance have I got? I try to get that, and they're singing a song about International, the Union Bears. The day just totally triggered me. They got it on a megaphone and everything. And maybe the Internacional Porto Alegre, of course, they won the Copa Sudamericana, they've won the Copa Libertadores. They're really just a continental trophy winner. They're continental finalists, club finalists, the same as the guys I like to talk about in terms of the UEFA Cup and the Europa League and all that. Maybe they meant Glasgow Rangers Internazionale of Milan, which is the first game I ever went to European competition, where we beat them 3-1, but we were 3-0 down for the first leg, and it was the UEFA Cup. Which is the same trophy, it's the same tournament as the Europa League. I mean, there's nothing I can do to avoid it. I get constantly triggered, and I know I've got to concentrate on my domestic. I know I've got to concentrate on the domestic situation, but I'm letting that go badly. How you doing, folks? This is your Fatek post. Rangers have begun the month of February in exactly the same way they began the month of January, with a very easy, very comfortable win over a club and a team from a fairy tale place that kind of really exists. You know, the county of Ross, the Shire of Ross. You know what I mean? Paradise, Parkhead, or this place where everybody plays barans and things like that. In Glasgow, I don't think these places exist. Reaction pod coming to you in association with Jersnet. Check out Jersnet tonight. It'll be on 9:30 live on the YouTube channel, and I forgot to check who was going to be on it, and I'm walking down because I can only get it on my laptop, the schedule thing. I can't work out how to get onto it. It keeps blocking me out on my phone, and it's no me that's on it, but I'm walking down Paisley Road today, and there's Frankie coming towards me, the boss, the gaffer. Oh, he'll find you. And I'm thinking, is this me? Am I getting shoved on the pod tonight? Am I going to have to get myself on there? But no, he was just bumping into Frankie as he was going to the game, and I was about to ask him, right, who's on tonight, so I can mention it in the pod, and he'd tell me about a kebab. That's with pals like that. Who needs enemies with pals like that? I'm just starving. I'm thinking, don't get a pie. And Frankie comes along and goes, I just got Paisley Road. Went to the kebab place in Paisley Road, and I'm like, fuck. Jeez, do you know what I mean? So, that was brilliant. That just gave me the details and that kind of stuff. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. But anyway, check it out. Frankie will be on he'll be actually behind the scenes as always. He'll be doing the live messaging. So lots of swearing, lots of sectarian stuff. Will keep him busy. See him work off that kebab. I'm sponsored by Jersey, and I'm also sponsored by Groundhog Day. I know. 1993. It was a 1993 film. But is it Robert Zemeckis? Great film, fantastic film. Film I watch all the time, watch it again and again and again. My wife comes into the living room, she goes, that Groundhog Day again, it's just the same stuff all the time. I know, I love it, And Heat is my Groundhog Day film because it's all about the work-life balance and how you're supposed to do what you want to do and do who you want to do at the same time, because how can you keep a family, but at the same time the person that loves you only loves you because the person you are and the person you are comes from what you do, the job that you want to do, the career you want to have, the life you want to have as well. And it's all about balancing that. But I think Groundhog Day is also a deeply powerful film. It's got a fantastic message about what you need to do in life to properly enjoy life, to find love and to give love, to earn love. And I think that's something we can all, as Rangers supporters, and it's the 1993, which of course is the season we won the treble and got to within a goal of the Champions League final, went 44 matches unbeaten in both European competitions, didn't lose a single game in the Champions League. This was the days where you could play 10 games in Europe and be a goal away from the final. You play 10 games in Europe now, and you're just getting into the business end of the tournament, but still European football and group stages just comes round and round and round again all the time, doesn't it? It's very. I mean, it's Andy McDowell again. Andy McDowell playing Rita playing Rita, no, using the same name as Rita, played by Laura Harring in Mulholland Drive. And that is a beautiful woman. I mean, obviously, Andie MacDowell is a beautiful woman, and Laura Harring is supposed to be playing a classic Hollywood icon, so she's supposed to be beautiful in Mulholland Drive. That's the whole point. But it's Andie MacDowell who's also in Four Weddings and A Funeral, and it's the worst of it. I know there's so much wrong with Four Weddings and A Funeral, and particularly the guy who directs these films, but writes these films, but Notting Hill and all that. But with Hugh Grant, I've said this before, but Hugh Grant's just like, Kristen Scott Thomas comes up and says, "I'm in love with you," and he's like, "No," I'm like, "What?" It's like, no, I'm not going to bother with that, Kristen. I'm not going to bother with you, the most beautiful woman ever to be on a movie screen, because Andie MacDowell, this very healthy, very handsome, nice skin, lovely hair. She gets adverts out of that, and really nice eyes. And I'm going to go for it. It's like if somebody says to you, "What's the Rangers game?" No, well, there's Rugby Union on. There's a Rugby Union International on the telly. What's the Rangers game? No, there's Gridiron on. The Seattle Falcons are playing the Mariner Phoenixes or something like that. No, it's Kristen Scott Thomas, not for Andie MacDowell. Yeah, so Andie MacDowell, she's nice in the film. She does the point, but of course the big thing is Puxatawny Phil, and our Puxatawny Phil is our groundhog is the draw, the European draw for the group stage. Because if we see Lyon are in that draw, then we know we're going to have a great season. It's going to be an early summer an early spring and all that for Rangers in Europe. That's the thing. Every time we get Lyon, we get to a European final. But that's not the point. That's not the point. Today we're here to talk about Rangers beating Ross County by 4-0 here at Ibrox. We've been averaging, or we're scoring 3 goals a game minimum in the year 2025. And then the other night, for the first time, we were held to 2 goals at Ibrox in 2025. So it's almost like we just chucked an extra one in the other day to get the average back up there and make up for it. I know we beat Fraserburgh 5-0, but just my math isn't my strong point. That's just arithmetic, isn't it? My name's Alec Anderson. Too many critics for my liking, nana. Too many critics, too few writing, nana. Rabid dogs, they're not biting, nana, nana, nana. Rabid dogs, they're not biting, nana. Love and avoid, it's so numb. Avoid and love, it's so dumb. Love and avoid. Yes. Absolutely, just totally routine today. It's fantastic. I mean, not just, they say routine, but there's nothing routine about how routine it was. It's becoming routine in 2025 when you consider the start of the season. Even the home games we were winning were a bit ropey and a bit boring. That was boring in a lovely way today. You want Sunday afternoons to be relaxing, but you want them to be a bit boring, but you don't want them to be irritating. So I'm here to keep the irritated and bored, but Rangers, just through no fault of it, just turned into just an easy kind of coast there in the end. And it was perfectly relaxed. It was a perfect antidote, the perfect follow-up, the perfect chill-out zone to the USG game and the off-field dramatics and us qualifying. It was top 8. We got into 8th place. I don't know if anybody's mentioned this at all. On Thursday night in the Europa League. Calm with a lass and all gang with a lass. James V there. James V, who literally shot himself to death. Talking about Mary Queen of Scots, and after the battle of Solway, it wasn't a battle, was it? Solway, Solway Moss. It's a typical Scotland performance. They just actually threw ourselves into the river and drowned ourselves while the enemy stood there going, and the other side going, what are they doing? We don't even have to attack this mob. They're doing themselves in. But I feel as if Cam last game in January, Cam with a 3-0 win against on a Thursday against Celtic, and it gang with another beautiful Thursday victory for Rangers against Union St Gilloise. A different tournament, fantastic. It is February now. When I went to February, it's the 2nd of February. I feel as if I've said that before. I say that all the time. I think I woke up this morning saying that it's the 2nd of February. I've been saying it's the 2nd of February. It's quite a lot of times. It's just again. I got you, babe. I got you, babe. But we have started February another win for Rangers, and it feels almost like it's part of the same kind of period, because we've got this midweek off, and this having a midweek off, the first midweek in God knows how long, makes it feel like we've got an international break or something like that. It makes it feel like a wee holiday, makes a mid-season break. God forbid, how bad Rangers are when they come back for the winter break, but that's what it feels like. It's just it came with an easy home win, and it's went with an easy home win this little period since the turn of the year. The worst result we got in January, the disastrous result. We only had one loss in the month of January, and that was arguably our best performance in the game that all lived with us the longest out of all the 9 games we played in January, and now we go into February of 6 games only. 6 games, unbelievable. But it feels like the one game we lost away to Manchester United at Old Trafford is probably the most memorable, perhaps the best performance. The 2 disastrous results we had were 2 draws away to 2 clubs that had reached the semi-finals of both the Fairs Cup and the old European Cup stop at Alex Stope at Dundee and Hibs. We drew away with Hibs, then Dundee. That was a total disaster stuff. But everything just feels kind of, I don't know, like we're kind of December, we got the new CEO and Patrick Stewart, the new chairman Fraser Thornton, and then January they had to start kind of like getting their feet under the table and properly talking about the serious stuff with the manager and what have you. Then by the end of the month, there's John Gilligan leaving, saying we're in good hands after he was stepping in as temporary chairman, and we seem to be operating. We've got a new assistant manager for the manager. The team is starting to look the absolute business. Things are starting to motor on both the European and domestic fronts, and it was that was great day. I really enjoyed it. I don't know, it was just cruising up there with it, even just having the smart card. There's no the QR code debacle with it being really frantic trying to get into the game on time, particularly if you're as poorly organised as I was on Thursday night. Today just strolled up there, cussing and swearing a bit Frankie, telling us all about his kebab, out with the smart card ping, and I go sit in the seat, plenty of time. And Rangers, the Rangers lineup. What was the change? HAGI come in. That's the squad rotation. Yanis HAGI came in for Bajrami on the left hand. In fact, it was Bajrami was playing number 10 the other night. Bajrami's on the bench, but this time Igaman has gone in to play at 10 behind Cyril Dessers in the old 4-2-3-1. Yanis HAGI not in the European squad, although we might be now if Genoa don't come in. If Genoa don't come in and take him off us. He's starting on the left-hand side, and Clinton Nsiala comes in at centre-half alongside John Souttar. So just thanks for that. Thanks for making a total film in that one. I made about 2 predictions last night, which were that Clinton Nsiala might come in to give John Souttar a wee rest, because he might not actually start. The half hour might have done him the other night. You know how the manager likes to, sports science, likes to time these things properly. We just needed John Souttar, against USG, because it was such a vital game and they're a better kind of opponent, but I might know or Clinton Nsiala might come in to give Robin Proper a rest, because Robin Proper is he's the bit Clinton Nsiala just come in, he was playing and Robin Proper didn't play, and John Souttar did start the game. So it's Clinton Nsiala and John Souttar starting in central defence, and then Clinton Nsiala doesn't even last the game. He ends up getting off with 10 minutes to go, and we bring in Mr. Fernandes, a big Portuguese recent signing who nearly came on at Tannadice, not quite, and he comes on today when Rangers are 4-0. We got a penalty. Christ, we got an actual penalty in a football. I hadn't even thought about it. 3-0 up, Cyril Dessers gets a feet swiped from. We've already had a goal disallowed for 4-0. I'm thinking we should get 4, because we've been getting 3 goals a game minimum in 2025, and we stopped. We didn't get the other night. We only get 2 the other night, and it's been nice if we got 4 a day. And then there's big Cyril, who didn't get a goal today, but was still putting himself about being a proper centre forward. He gets the legs taken from, swiped from him, and I was just thinking, I didn't even think about it being a penalty, even though so obviously it was right in front of me. And it's as a fella at the end of the row in front of me, he's like, that's a fucking penalty, and that actually is. And I'm thinking, why am I not thinking this? And then the fella Davey at the end of the row behind me, he's like, first this season. I'm like, that's why I'm not expecting a penalty, because we don't get them. And there was, we got a penalty, and up steps Tav, who's had very little practice this season, and puts it away bottom right. Does the old jogging up and down on the spot, comes up, strokes the thing away into the bottom right-hand corner, cool as you like, sends the keeper the wrong way. It's 4-0 Rangers. He does it. Is it a golf swing? Is it a baseball swing? I'm not into these other sports. I'm only into European finals. And that is it. Rangers have won by 4-0. Now, we had Diamandi and Raskin, the sitting two in midfield, although it's more of a 4-1-1, 3-1 when they're playing against opposition like Ross County, because Diamandi pushes up maybe directly in front of Raskin, and more of a kind of minister without portfolio thing, just kind of about doing whatever he can to help the other departments of the team. He's allowed to kind of go spare, and again, but with Hefty remained at left back, Tav at right back as opposed to centre half as he was the other night, and as I say, Igaman is in behind, Dessler's playing as a one, and out on the right hand side it's Czerny, who come off the other night and was visibly questioning the manager why. Actually asking the question, why am I getting subbed off with half an hour to go and the game's still quite tight? He's like, because you're going to come on against Ross County and set up the first goal, which is what he did. There was not a lot happening for the first, I don't know, when did we score? The first goal was 17 minutes, I think we had maybe one shot on goal or something, and County had flashed one across our box. That was it. There wasn't a lot happening, but there was no panic, there was no rumbling. It was a satisfied crowd who are starting to believe in what this manager's doing. We got... I was Czerny. Czerny is a point I was trying to make there. Czerny gets the ball on the right-hand side and he cuts in, still outside the box, but he comes up from wide in line with the post, really, and fires a shot towards, still kind of central, but towards the back post area, low and hard, as he is wont to do. Their keeper gets down to it, County's keeper pushes it out, and there's Yanis HAGI, like Gerd Muller, Johnny on the spot, just ready for the rebound, tucks it away, 1-0 Rangers, fantastic VAR check. No Billy Boys the day after the VAR check went in Rangers' favour, but I think this is absolutely lovely. And then Yanis HAGI, that's the other thing, how am I supposed to stop thinking about European finals when Yanis HAGI gets 2 goals and one of them is a deflected off the wall for a free kick, barely perceptible, the free kick. I don't know who won the free kick, I don't really know, I can't remember what happened. I was half sleeping by that point because it was so easy, we're coasting already, it was such a relaxing Sunday, but Yanis steps up, free kick outside the box, and the ball ends up in the top corner of the net. And I think if you watch the replays tonight on Sports Scene or whatever on Sky Sports, you'll notice it's imperceptible. There's a slight nick, I think maybe off the ear or something of a Ross County player, but Giannis was trying to put it in the top bin, and it went into the top bin. So that was it, 2-0 Rangers after, what was that? That was like 25 minutes or something like that. Maybe at that point, the only kind of real doubt of the day happened when, it's quite funny, Hefty were playing the ball about in defence. This is all right in front of me because it's not unlike Union St Giles, as Ross County know what end they should be shooting towards in the first half. So Hefty playing at left back, then we did a few kind of 1-2s with Raskin. Raskin was absolutely everywhere today, he was tremendous, but he fails to kind of clear it. He kind of fails to clear it properly. He gives it to a Ross County player who then flashes it across our goal, and I think it's John Souttar has to clear it for a corner, and you just get John Souttar. What the fuck are you doing? Basically berating Hefty in no uncertain manner, and Hefty to his credit isn't in any way bothered, but he's giving him such a bollocking, big John Souttar, and he looks the part that all the other guys, all the other teammates, the Rangers teammates of Hefty, descend upon Hefty to console him and almost protect him in a way that was reminding me of a bunch of women, because you've just been chucked, a lady's just been chucked by her boyfriend, and our pals are coming round to he wasn't worth it, just ignore him, he didn't deserve you, and all that kind of thing. Just ignore. They're all coming up like aunties and your gran and all that, kind of gathering round you to say when you're crying because your dad's gave you a total, bollock and trying to put just get it punted up the fucking get it up the other end. We're shouting that way. Is John Souttar sitting there? Don't you worry about it, Hefty. And then comes Nico Raskin and Diamandi kind of patting him in the back and all that. Just like a Jogo Benito. We're going to do interpass, and we're trying to play football from our own goal line. Get fucking fire up the park, says Souttar. So that was quite funny. Nothing came of it for Ross County, and up we went again. And how did the third goal happen? Oh, it's a corner. We're getting a penalty and we're scoring for corners now. This Mr. Isami Chanai has made an instant mark on this Rangers team. HAGI from the left hand side fires a corner in, and at first I thought it was John Souttar had put it into the back post. straight away from the corner, and then the replays up on the big screen showed you that it's Nico Raskin, Fox in the box these days. This is him, pretty much what happened for our second goal against Celtic in the 2nd of January, with Nico Raskin getting in there at the corner, hitting the header, and the centre half, it was proper on that occasion, putting it in at the back post. This time it was John Souttar, who's also scored against Celtic in a 3-0 victory at Ibrox, but he goes in there at the back post to tuck it away with the feet. Cracking goal. I don't think there even was a VAR check. I was expecting one in that one, and that was Diamandi kind of sat down towards the end of the first half. Didn't reappear for the second half. It was young Bailey Rice come on for him, and then I think just after the hour mark, we had Robin Proper coming on to let John Souttar go off. Before that, just early in the second half, we had the ball in the back of the net, and it was big Souttar again. I was like, Hagi's got 2 and Souttar's got 2. This is quite nice. I'm liking this. But it was, I can't really work out what happened. I need to watch that back in the telly. It seemed as if John Souttar came from well behind the ball. It's maybe at some point in the build-up, there was 2 or 3 of us having a go at it. Dessers and amongst it, trying to get the ball over the line. And John Souttar comes in and just smacks it into the back of the net. I kind of scramble about in the goal-mouth area, but the flag went up straight away. And you just instinctively protest. What was he get his flag up for? But you don't really care because you're already 3-0 up and already looking like you're going for a fourth. It did get a bit lax in the second half as more substitutions, and you knew the game was in the bag. As I say, half-hour mark, John Souttar goes off, and on comes Proper. What was it, around about 72, 73 minutes, we brought on Bajrami and somebody else. We brought on Bajrami I brought on Tom Lawrence to go in at 10 for Igaman, and Bajrami come on for HAGI to go out wide left. And I think with 10 minutes to go, Clinton and Ciala get a standing ovation. The big man was absolutely fantastic today. Not that Ross County were offering a lot, it has to be said. They plugged away County, they plugged away hard, they kept going for the full game, but it didn't happen in Rangers. The results yesterday, we got that 4th goal from the penalty spot, and the results yesterday, I think we're now 13 points clear, 16 points clear of the nearest team below us, and we are a couple of goals closer to Celtic today. After today, it's still 10 points. We gained a couple of goals on the goal difference wise, and that's the way it should be. We should always be closer to Celtic if they happen to be above us than we are to anybody else in the league. And after what happened on Thursday night, where I think we went through to the knockout stage, I don't really like to talk about the European stuff. Doesn't really concern me. I think it's just been lovely. It's just been a lovely month. It's been a lovely. January was a lovely month, and it's turned into February, getting off to the best possible start. We now have this rest ahead of us as well. There's going to be 2 or 3 rests that will hopefully let us push on. Maybe there's going to be some signings. I don't know if the transfer window shuts. I keep watching Sky Sports News, but I wish they would tell you. I wish they would say something about the transfer window, Sky Sports. Maybe put up a kind of ticker tape thing or something telling you when the transfer window slams shut. But various rumours here and there, and I think the manager's keen to get somebody else. And we know we're going to get a big European tie coming up, at least one, before the end of the season. So hopefully that's going to give us a bit more. But there's no, I think... There's no sign of Ridvan even on the bench today. Who else? Dujon Sterling, we don't know what's happened with him at all. And Kassan Weirdo's a distant memory. Probably never see him again, but nobody's bothered. There's now very much an air of everyone's fine. It never will be at Rangers, but it's really nice. I go to juniors games every now and then. I've only gone to many this season, but I usually go to, they used to be called juniors games, are now non-league games, strictly speaking. You'll go and watch like Ben Burb along the road, Tinto Park, new Tinto Park, which is actually built on the old Tinto Park. Anyway, and they're sharing with like St Cadoc's, who are away down in I think they're 3rd or 4th, maybe they're higher, in fact maybe they're top flight. I've kind of lost track of the juniors game, but since it became the West of Scotland, but I'm keen to see all the clubs that I've no seen. And one thing I've noticed going to these various places like Gartcairn Juniors and Rossvale or Inverurie Local Works, so that's Highland League. What are they now? Some sort of local locomotives or something. You notice there's a new type of ground coming along, a new type of stadium, a new type of venue. I've been talking to a fellow who stays in the States now, a really nice guy. We've been talking to him on Blue Sky. I used to play for Whitlet's Vicks in the Ayrshire Juniors. At the time when I was watching the Ayrshire Juniors, I've probably seen you at Winton Park. When I was a kid, when you were playing, I mean, he's only a couple of years older than me. I'm not trying to make it I'm super young or anything, but and he's talking about the old style juniors grounds, which I love, but it's really noticeable now in this new kind of tranche of football clubs that are coming through. They're all really community based in terms of it's all kids teams. Parents want their kids to have some football, and then suddenly they're doing so well that let's just get ourselves into this new pyramid system that's come about basically through Rangers. Hitting the bottom tier in 2011, 2012 really. So you go and you notice it's very tidy, but it's kind of, I wouldn't say soulless, it's just different. The soul is all within the team, within the players, within the the parents and all that are coming along and running this thing, and it's always heavy duty community stuff, football and local football at that level, and it's AstroTurf pitches or 4G or 5G pitches, or is that the internet? I don't know, but it's all this kind of stuff where sorry, my screen suddenly got a bit fuzzy there. I don't know what's happening. The floodlights are pristine and brand new, and there's a lovely perimeter fence separating the punters for the pitch, and there's hard standing, which is usually kind of paved, and it's quite nice, like tiles or something. It's quite smart, but there's very rarely an enclosure. There's very rarely a covered enclosure and like that. And I was at his Gart Cairn I went to, and this was a few years ago. I don't know if the setup's get any better then. It's right next to like a sports centre. There'll be a drinks machine or something like that, but there's no bovrils. There was a wee kind of a caravan type thing that was selling basically hot water and pot noodles. You can get a coffee or whatever. You're selling Mars bars and things like that, but there's no pies as such, no chips that you sometimes get in these places. Luger Boswell, homemade soup. Luger Boswell Thistle. Oh my God. Absolutely phenomenal. One of the greatest things I've ever tasted at the juniors. Proper kind of lentil stuff with the ham through it is phenomenal. But it's a bit more sterile in many ways for the punter, but at the same time it's still, the referee's still getting dogs abuse. Folk are still saying really politically incorrect stuff at the sidelines. The fans are still baiting the players, and there's square goals all the time. So it's still got that essential juniors vibe about it, but now it's West of Scotland League. It's low, and I feel as if that's sometimes maybe what a lot of people are panicking about this season. When have Rangers ever been in a situation where suddenly they're letting a manager not win his first 6 Old Firm games, but still keeping them on? It's like the context change. Things are different. We're going to have a director. We've got a director of football. We've got, a CEO who's more powerful than the chairman, more hands-on than the chairman. We're becoming a more streamlined, modern football operation. Just like 92, 93, this newfangled group stage thing, which we helped bring about. It was the second season of the group stages in the Champions League. There was group stages right at the beginning of the first cup, but we'll not get into that. That it was like, actually, I prefer just playing somebody home and away, and it should be only the champions of each country that are allowed in the European Cup and the holders / Champions League. And it's like, then we had a goal away for the final, and it's like, this is actually brilliant. I'm loving this new group stage format, these 4-team groups, and then it's this season, it's, how many? 36? There's 36 teams, 36 clubs in 3 different groups for the 3 different competitions. European competition, a bit like these stadiums that I'm now seeing, are actually getting more streamlined. Yeah, but we're getting, like guys my age, are kind of more confused by them. And I'm like, you're only playing 4 teams at home and the other 4 teams away only, and that doesn't seem right. And it's the end of January and you still don't even know who's through the knockout stages. That can't be right. That's not good. And then Rangers go and do it. And again, it's like the Champions League 92, 93. Thinking, I love this new format. So actually, and Rangers are really good at it. Didn't know that it was going to be another 13 years before we got out of an actual group stage in the Champions League. It turned into a whole lot of pain, and who knows, it might be exactly the same thing when it comes to the Europa League this season and the seasons to come. We might be struggling to get out of this 36 team format in the group stages, but the juniors have still got the Junior Cup. You still have to beat your Irvin Meadows and your Auchinleck Talbot, even if you're not playing in a junior football association set up all the time. If that's not what you're doing in the league, Bonnyrigg Rose are up in the top flight. You still got your Linlithgow Rose and all that, and Auchinleck Talbot are still the best in the land, even though I'm a Winton man and what have you, and it's Rangers are still the best in the land for me. There's only one, we've this last month we went down to the one club in Britain that's bigger than us in terms of fan base, and we took them really really close. And we also had the one team in Scotland that's got the same kind of size of fan base as us, is approaching us in any way when it comes to the power in the Scottish game, and we scalped them 3-0. If this is the new order, it still seems to be the same. We're getting the same old thrills from it, and I'm quite happy with it. We should keep pushing, and I don't know, maybe it's a bit like the old Groundhog Day. You know, it's the thing about Groundhog Day is Phil Connor has got to realise he can get everything arranged as much as he wants. He can do things materialistically. He might just want to, do it to Rita. He might just want to do her over. Andy McDowell character. The same as we just want to, do Celtic, get them beat, get in their faces and that kind of thing. That's got its time and its place, but it's not really a long-term ambition. It's quite kind of short. It's very functional, and you might get to that point where like he's memorising French poetry because he's worked out that she's into French poetry. And it's like, no, that's too deliberate. That's just basically creepy. That's trying too hard. And we this season have definitely been at the point where we're getting getting the toaster and taking it into the bath with us. We've done a bit of that, and that's taking things far too far. But it gives you the pain, and you shouldn't be scared of the pain, because somebody who loves you, somebody's only going to love you if you just let them be them, and you also show that you're quite willing to suffer for them, and you suffer when they suffer, and what will happen with that is if you earn it, if you stay patient, if you stay by them, if you support them, and you just genuinely love them, then they'll eventually see that in your eyes, and they'll reciprocate. But you already have realised that the beautiful thing isn't the winning or the losing of the games. It's no, being the best piano player in town and being able to really impress folk by predicting all the answers on a quiz show and stuff like that. It's about people valuing you and valuing your loyalty and seeing you as a nice person. And they eventually will fall in love with you, and then you'll probably get to shag them just the same way as we're going to win the treble next season and the Europa League, and we'll get right in Celtic's face about it. Strike up the music, the band has begun. The Pennsylvania Polka.